Let's create a new project to get used to how Android projects are structured and how the code generally looks. If we go to File, New, Android Application Project, we can begin to create our new project. Let's call our application First App. The application name is what will appear when the app is an icon on the phone's dashboard screen. The project name will be how it is represented in Eclipse, and the package name is a unique identifier for the eventual collection of compiled files that will be used to distribute your application. All the files we create and store in our app will be placed within this package, which can be thought of as a parallel to a zip file. We'll keep the default target SDKs, which means that users of the application will be required to have their Android operating system upgraded enough to support that API. We'll click Next on the next few screens and stick with the defaults. One screen deals with the project configurations and another deals with the icons we want to use for this application. Don't worry, we can always change that later, just like many of the options we set up in creating our project. When we get to the Create Activity screen, we'll select Blank Activity, which is the default, and click Finish. If we navigate to our new project and expand it, we'll see a collection of folders. Folder names that begin with Android are automatically generated files and libraries, and we won't touch those. They are maintained by Eclipse and represent a lot of low-level Android material. The main three things we need to worry about are the folders SRC, which stands for Source, the RES folder, which stands for Resources, and we also need to worry about the Android manifest.xml file, which is a roadmap for our application. The source folder contains all our Java files. If we expand it, we'll see our package name that we declared in setting up our application, and expanding that reveals a file called mainactivity.java. As I've mentioned before, this is the brains behind the screen that the user sees. Each activity will have its own Java file, which will be placed in this package as well. We can also have Java classes that aren't activities, and they will exist in here as well. The resource folder contains our images, sounds, and layout XML files. The files prepended with drawable contain all the images we'll access in our app, and we can add our own images into these folders. Each folder stands for a different pixel density. Drawable-LDPI stands for low density per inch, for example. We can place different resolution pictures in each folder with the same name, and Android will automatically choose which one is best for the job based on the screen resolution of the device. The layout folder will contain the XML files I mentioned earlier, which will be referenced by the Java activity files to be used to set the layout of the screen. If we expand the layout folder, we can see some default ones that were automatically generated for us when we created the new project. The values folder can contain other defaults we might want in one of its XML files, such as strings of text we may use a lot and don't want to write out over and over again, or different colors we commonly use in our application. The Android manifest tells Android which parts of our projects are activities, what permissions to request from the user, and which activity to launch when the app opens, among other options. We'll deal more with this further down the line when we add a new activity to our project, in which we'll need to alter the Android manifest to include this new activity. I suggest you look around the project, opening files and folders and checking out what's in them. If you're not sure why something is located where it is, who created it, or why it exists, just Google it. There are thousands of people who have learned Android as well who have had the same questions as you. The worst thing that happens in any case is that something may break and you delete this project and start with a fresh new one.